It's time for some spooky fun. We're going to be creating this Halloween card using the spooky Halloween stamp set. The little cat dressed up like a witch, lots of Stampin' blends, the spooky Halloween dies, these little stars, these little shimmer foam stars, and a couple inks. All right, let's get started. My name's Kimberly Smith. I'm the paper chef, and this is our Halloween series. Our spooky Halloween series goes on for the month of August and actually next month as well, September. And then right after that, we're going to jump into the Jolly Delivery Workshop series, which will be October's workshop series. Registration for this is going to open very soon. But you can already register for the bingo. This is the bingo packet. So we're not just using this for a workshop series, we're using it for bingo. And as I get out my trimmer, I'll see if I have a QR code. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. There's the QR code if you want to register for the bingo by September 10th. Okay, let's get started. We're going to use some scraps of paper that we've been using from our packets. And if you didn't get the Halloween workshop kit, that's okay. Just use whatever you have. I'm using, oh, that's the other paper. This is Halloween spells. You can use that too. That was last year's Halloween paper. I think you can still get it in the form of a scrapbook kit. But I thought, I'm saving these bigger pieces here for some card backgrounds. And I thought this one would be really cute because it's in the middle of the scrapbooking pieces. And it was just a little strip and it has petunia pop on the back. So I thought this is perfect for a note card. Let's not waste that strip in the middle. But we are going to save these bigger panels for our vertical cards. Okay, so we have that coming up still. We have a shaker card project coming up. Not right away, but coming up. All right, then you're going to use, let's see. Oh, and for the background paper, oh, by the way, you also want to pop out a couple little candy corns, which we'll go ahead and do. You're going to pop them out of your specialty paper. I love this paper because of the ephemera. We're going to put giant candy corns on our project. And sometimes you end up getting kind of caught up when you have a lot of ephemera, and I've punched a lot out. It's the same thing happens when I use my scan to cut and I cut out a lot of shapes. So it's easier to just cut off these extra little pieces like so. All right, because it just keeps getting tangled up in my bag. Now we're going to take these. Now, when you do cut these out of the paper, just so they look like you color them and die cut them, we're going to cut off the little nibs. And the little nibs are there for when you punch them out. I do that also on my paper pumpkin kits. All right, there you go. And now we have well, not little, giant. They're giant candy corns. See, in relation to like the cat, they're giant candy corns. But it's kind of easier to work with bigger embellishments. All right, putting that paper off to the side, and that paper is called Sweet Halloween, or Spooky and Sweet, something like that. It's their Halloween paper this year. It's whenever you can't find something I'm using, just go to my store. It's in the online exclusives, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. It's like you've seen me up, or you probably know, like I disappeared for a few days. I was so busy this weekend doing my auctions. So anyone who was there, shout out if you're at the auction. I know you're coming in later, but you might want to comment in the other part of this stream, when you come in. But that was so much fun. And especially my late night streamers got even better deals. They got like killer deals. It was so much fun. See, I had an auction in the afternoon, and then later I went on the platform and I just brought my leftovers out, and like I sold them for like even less. But I mean, you had to stay up until like after midnight to get those awesome deals. All right, so this one, we're going to use this piece. We're going to use some scraps of another kind of paper, but let's just take this piece, and I want to tell you the measurements of this, and we'll write down the layers. This is actually layer 2, but it's going to be 2.5 by 4.5. I want you to cut that piece first because you're going to cut that out of your DSP. All right, 2.5 by 4.5. It doesn't go all the way up because it just doesn't, the paper doesn't allow it to go any taller. Okay. but that's okay. We have another paper. Now let's find the other paper. It is called Botanical something. Botanical Textures, possibly. And it was like just here. And I gathered all my supplies for the video. So now we're going to look. I don't know, did I carry it to another part of the room? I didn't go anywhere. Oh, we're already losing things, like our little broom. I'm not usually this much of a space cadet, but sometimes I am. But this time I had it here. Oh, here we go. It fell down. Okay, so we're going to use this paper. And we've used this for note cards before, but we're going to take the back of it, take the grunge side. I put this in your Halloween kit because it has really cool grungy sides for the background of your cards. So this is called Botanical Textures Designer Series paper. So any of these will do, but I'm going to use the black piece. Here's a nice piece. That's the one I used earlier. Or I used the back of this one, I think. But this one will be fine too, as well. Yeah, I mean, either one. Let's just go for that one. So you're going to take this and you're just going to take your card. And this first one's going to be, all you got to do is measure your note card. Again, note cards were in your kit. See, we sell note cards like this. They're in little packages. Basic white note cards and envelopes. So everything I'm showing you is on my store. We're using Karen products. I'm Stampin' Up. Okay, so the card itself is 3.5 by 5, right? Like you may have heard of like index cards being 3.5 by 5. It's a very common measurement. Actually, they're 3 by 5, but you don't get the idea. 3 by 5 index cards. Anyway, this is 3.5 by 5. So when you measure the little note card, you're like, okay, so we want this piece to be 1/4 inch smaller. So I made this 3 1/4, and instead of 5, I made it 4 3/4. Okay, so all I did for this piece when I was measuring was take 1/4 inch off of all sides, just like so. Okay, so that's our little card, and now we're going to attach this piece to that piece, but you're going to leave the top part. You want a 1/4 inch margin around the whole thing, like so, but you want the top part to have the black part. That's where you're going to put "Don't worry, eat sweets," which is right on this part. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, eat sweets. Okay, so we're going to put that on. And attach that. I don't know why my glue's not coming out as well as it usually does. Just going like that and moving it over some. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to take this piece. We're going to take our note cards. Let's see. We can take the note cards out. I'm just going to do one for now because, it's okay to do one. You get the idea. We usually do more than one. When I'm doing card club, I try to make more than one. I'm going to use that one because the other ones are bent a little. And let's get envelopes. We can decorate both my envelopes. I didn't do that earlier. We'll decorate with some Halloween scraps. We'll do that at the end. All right, so take this, and there's already a natural score line. Can you see that? Oh, let me put the glue back on. The natural score line, this is really thick cardstock, by the way. The ones that we use for our note cards, really high quality. Okay, now we're going to flip it over because it goes down. That's the valley. And flip it over. And you're going to fold it that way. And I like to use the corner of my trimmer just as a place to line up so everything's tidy. And now we'll just look for my bone folder or anything that I can use as a bone folder. Don't worry, be happy. Okay, there we go. So burnish the edges. Make sure all the corners are good. So that's all for that. And at this point, let's write it down so we don't lose track of what we did. And I'm going to move this sign up for bingo, but maybe I'll mention it again at the end. Who knows? At the end of this video, I will show you all the other projects we made in this series. You know me, I like to just jump into things and start crafting, and then later I get into more details. All right, since there aren't that many measurements, we can go ahead and fold this in half. It's just a note card. I'm using the note cards that are already made, so all I'm going to do is talk about the paper. And basic white note card, let's just jump right into the paper. We're going to say the paper is layer 1. Oh, we're going to say note card. This is pretty much note card. I'm not going to write it the size of the note card. We're just going to talk about the layers on the note card. Layer 1, layer 2, and we'll write the names of the paper. And this is Halloween, but it could be really any time. All right, so let's say layer 1, and then layer 2 is more just like that, not as tall. So layer 1 is going to be, I'm going to use my cheat sheet here, 4 3/4 times 3 1/4. Okay, layer 1 is 4 3/4 times 3 1/4. Layer 2 is 4 1/2 times 2 1/2. Okay, once again, layer 2 is 4 1/2 times 2 1/2. Layer 2 is going to be the cute, let's see, what are we calling this one? Spooky Sweet. I'm just going to write it all down here because I should have, well, I can write it up there. I'll put it right beneath Spooky Sweet DSP. And then up here, it's going to be botanical layers. Okay, and it looks like all spooky, the paper. It's just perfect for Halloween. Oh, no, botanical textures, not layers. Botanical, B-O-T-A. Textures. Okay, so DSP. So those are your 2 layers. Now we're going to talk about the ink. And, all right, well, I'll bring this paper back after we talk about, we'll do all the ink because there's a lot of ink. So let me go ahead and move the papers. Get rid of, make some room. So we're going to do some now coloring. We're going to do stamping, coloring, die cutting, and all the things. Okay, we probably need some, we can use maybe some, I'll leave these scraps over there because we could use them to decorate our envelope later. So far this is what we have, and we can go ahead and attach this to there. Okay, so we attach your card to your card base. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Janet. Hello, Yvette. And Phil. And Michelle. No, I'm not Michelle. And, oh, thanks. Michelle's saying the auction was great. Those that stayed up till like 2 in the morning, it was like insane. I was selling bundles for like $7. I was like, I'm done. Let's do it. Let's go. I mean, bundles are like $54. But then, I mean, I usually sell them for 20 and then people bid them up. But sometimes I was just selling them for like, at the end of the night, I'm like, who's still here? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's do this. And now I have like a fresh new, I got rid of all my supplies. And then I mailed all the packages out, so they're all going. And then now I can like look for stuff for next week's sale. But I'm destashing. I'm destashing the things I don't use anymore. It's so random. I'm finding crafts from all over the world. It's just so random. It was really, really fun though. It was wild. I love the One Up platform. Hi, Christina. Thank you for being a YouTube channel member. Hi, Cards by Chris. Hi, Yvette. All right, so that's the card, and now we want to turn that into this like bundle of cuteness. We're gonna use die cutting. We're gonna use Wink of Stella. Now I am the type that always tells you to die cut before you color, because I've already stamped. We can at least do that part. I could stamp it again, but we're just gonna go ahead and die. I'm gonna die cut. If you happen to like and you did all this work and you did all this cute coloring, right? And then you were die cutting and it went like that and it slipped. You're like, ah. Oh. Now, even with washi tape, which I like to use on my die cuts, it could still slip. And if you just got done coloring and the tape either ripped your image or the die cut slipped or whatever, Anything can happen. I just die cut first, and then I have a bunch of die cuts, and then I can color them later. But so we're gonna use the cat tonight. We haven't used the cat yet. We've used a little dog that I called the little monster. We've used the little monster. Now we're doing the little witch. Okay, so we're putting that there, and the sandwiches. Oops, I had too much in that sandwich. Okay, the sandwich is the base plate. Number 1, it's the thick base plate, and then we have number 2, which is your thin die adapter. 1 plate, number 3, piece of paper, your die cut, and then your top sandwich is another plate, number 3. That's your die cutting sandwich, and we'll roll that through. Okay, and I do want to show you how easy this was to stamp. So we'll do it again. I just happen to have a couple stamped because I was trying to save paper earlier. Isn't that cute? And it did die cut out pretty cute because I taped it and it didn't slip. So little pieces of washi tape. I'm just using this washi tape that we sell. It is so strong, and I've been using it for my die cutting all the time. I used it more in my die cutting than in my designs. All right, so that's good. Now let's go ahead and stamp a little bit. We'll flip that over. And we'll get out the little kitty. And I already have the broom out somewhere. So we're going to mount the stamp. Put the flat side up. Mount it. Where's my ink? Memento black ink. Because it's a big stamp, turn the stamp upside down and ink it up like this. Instead of trying to land it on. Now, I like to always stamp on a scrap of piece of paper first. Before I stamp, oh, that came out really nice. Yay! Before we stamp it onto our, oh, that's not my basic white. Before we stamp it onto our basic white with good ink absorption and all that. But the scrap paper is a good way to test your stamp, and it's cheaper paper. So I like to have it all nice before I use my basic white. Okay, see how nice that came out? Nice and crisp. And we'll go ahead and do another one. This is why I had 2 earlier, because I have these little scraps of paper I use, and 2 fit on there perfectly. So I'm going to save one of these for later. And we'll just go ahead and put the broom on there. I will do a little piece. I'll do a little piece for the broom. All right, I'll do a little piece for the broom. I'm going to save that one for later. So now we're going to take the broom, which I had sticking to a stamping block earlier. Here it is. Okay, here's the little broom. That's right inside your case here, called Spooky Halloween. Tap, tap, tap. Where's my scrap paper? Here, we just use that. Nice, came out nice. Okay, there's the broom. And now we need the little, well, we don't need the little, I was gonna have it carry the little thing, but it already has a little trick or treat bag, so it just needs the broom. So you don't need to do the extra die I had out, but you do need some bats. So we'll cut out the bats. They're already embossed. So the bats, all you have to do for the bats is just cut them in black cardstock, of which I have little scraps of that inside here. Let's see, that's a piece of, I like to use regular black cardstock, not that other stuff that's like two-tone, because the blacks just works better. It just does. I keep it real. I'm not a big fan. I like to use my regular cardstock for making bats. That's all. That's just stronger. Okay, so but two-tone has other great, other reasons to use it. Like you can sand it and get some texture. So we're going to cut out 2 bats. We're going to cut out, so there's our, remember we just said our sandwich. For those that came in, base plate number 1, thin die adapter. For every time you have thin dies, you need this adapter. Plate number 2, 1 plate number 3. Yes, I'm using a new cutting plate. Well, I still use my old one a lot too. I mean, you can see how scratched they are, but, and then we're going to do, so I'm going to put the bats over there. And you don't really need to tape the bats. You just got to center them. But this parts I like to tape. I like to tape the die to I'm looking for the little, here it is, to the paper, because so it doesn't slip. Slip sliding away. I don't want it to slip slide away. There we go. It doesn't need to be sticking to the die plate, just it needs to be sticking to the paper. Should be good enough. And then this one needs the little cat. Die. And then you can line up all these little pieces, see? The tail, the hat, just line up all the little parts. It should come out nice. Okay. Let us see. Janet took a nap during the late night auction. That's why it was good. Amy volunteered to moderate, Janet. Janet moderated for like 3 hours earlier. Thank you so much, Janet, for moderating. She's on my team, the Paper Chefs, and she moderates. She was moderating in the afternoon. We had an auction from 3 to 6. That's when all my stuff was regular price. Not regular price, but it's still a great deal. I had like $20 bundles, $8 DSP. You know, it starts. That's the start price. It's an auction, so people bid. And I did a few dollar deals. I sold a lot of ink. I couldn't believe people were buying all my really, really old style inks. Like, they weren't just buying them. I started bidding for like $1, like these kind. And like, not only were they buying them, but they were bidding them up. And I was like, you guys, I'm not even sure if these work. I don't know if there's any, they're the old style. I don't know if there's any ink in them. I don't know if they're going to work. And they're like, they bought them anyway. So I was like, I've had these for so many years, and I was so happy to have a good home to them. Give them a good home. Now then at midnight, I took out some more ink, and people were like, You know, they were like, they weren't as into the ink. That was better for the afternoon. But they were like, show us some of your, you know, they wanted to do like the crazy dollar deals. And so we did. We just did like crazy dollar deals. I just pulled out stuff and we sold it for, you know, $1, or that was the opening bid. And like, they're like, where do you get this stuff? I'm like, everywhere. It's taken a lifetime. It's taken a lifetime to accumulate. I've been crafting all my life. And, you know, I get stuff also from crafty friends. Oops. I should remember I told you didn't have to put, you really did. We should have put tape on there. Anyway, it took me a lifetime to accumulate. And now I'm going to try to get rid of it in less than a lifetime. You know, just in a, it'll probably take me a couple years, good years, just to do weekly auctions for a couple years to try to get rid of it. And then, of course, each time I'm going to still have more because I'm still a demonstrator. So I'm always going to be getting more. No, I had an extra one, but it's the same one. They're slightly different, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple more because I want an extra one that has like a different size. Yeah, I'm trying to reach a goal this year, so like I'm still doing my kits and clubs and offerings and designer series paper shares, and oh, that one came out even better. Look how much better that is centered. Let me get a piece of paper to show you. Let me find something that would be of contrast. Here, let's use a little piece of black. See, look at how much better that is. Like the die is like centered better. I mean, it's a little slight difference, but like that is like perfect, like the scan and cut would do. You know, like an even border, but that one is like moved over to the right a little bit. But I really like how it cut out the little hole near the tail. It did a really nice job. So I'll probably color, maybe I'll color both, but I'm going to pick that one for now. But if I mess it up, I'll color another one. And then we have our little broom that we're going to color. It's going to be fun. We're going to color with the Stampin' blends. And I'm going to put these die cut shapes away. Yeah, I was even selling like some of my die sets, and I was like, I can't. I had like the latte love at the auction. I was like, guys, I can't find the coffee cup. I've been looking for it for like, I even dumped out all the paper I gave them, and I looked for the coffee cup for ages. And I said, if I ever find it, I made a spreadsheet of all the things I need to find for people. People still bought the stuff, even though I'm like, there's no coffee cup. It's a coffee set. There was lots of little coffee cups, just not the big coffee cup. And I'd be like, this pack of paper only has 10 sheets. And it was like, okay, nobody minds if it only has 10 sheets. I would give them 2 sheets of something else random. It was like the most random thing ever. It's just such a fun random auction, like fast paced. It's really, really fun. But it went on until like after 2 in the morning. So it went from Friday night till Saturday morning. Thank you. Michelle's like, the prices were right. And you won a prize too. I gave away 6 prizes. I gave away 3 during each event. So I had like 6 giveaways. And then I did free shipping up to a certain amount. Anyway, I'm really loving that platform. Okay, I made some extra bats. So you can get them out that way. Just tap, tap, or you can poke them out with take your pick tool. Are my dies reunited? Except for the one. I know I had 2. Earlier I had 2 of this little die. I'm glad they gave us 2. Because one of those is laying around here. But other than that, my dies are pretty much reunited. And there's the little one I was going to cut out, but I didn't need to because it's, like I said, she only needs to hold her broom. She already has a little, the cat has that. All right, so let's color. And of course we need Winkostella for the glitter. You're going to glitter up your bats and things. And you can go ahead and do that, and then they'll dry. So let me pick I'm going to pick a big one and a small one. I thought they were different. Huh. Now I'm not so sure. Yeah, there is, that one's bigger. Is it bigger? All that work and they were the same size anyway? Nope, they're the same. It's an optical illusion, you guys. It's an optical illusion. So far, they're all the same. They're exactly the same. All right, missed opportunity there. Meaning they could have made them different because the die would have taken the same amount of metal. But they look different. They're not different. I just think they really did on my card, too. I thought they looked different. But you saw me. I cut them out, and they're all the same. Okay, so we're putting Winkostella on those and letting them dry. And we'll put Winkostella on these after we color them. So we're going to now get our blends. And I'll just tell you the colors as I'm doing it, and then we'll write them down in the area. So I have to always cheat and use my card because after I do something, I'm like, oh, that looked cute. Then hey, yes, you got the apron. You got the apron with the flamingos on it, right? The flamingo apron. I think I end up shipping it in like a bigger box or like kind of a square box. Yes, I remember shipping you the flamingo apron. We sold a flamingo apron. We sold a Christmas apron. So now I'm using dark crumb cake. I have my mom's little bags. They're so adorable. And every single auction so far that I've had, I've sold mini totes. So I'm using the dark one and I'm doing it for. The dark one is the tips of the ears and the tail. Do those first because I'm using dark crumb cake, right? Do those first because they're not being blended, but the face is going to be blended. So do it last because alcohol markers, which the blends are, they dry quickly. And so when they dry quickly, you want to be able to blend them quickly. So this part of the face, can you see that? It's going to be, I'm blending the dark on the outside of the face and right there. And then I'm going to grab the light crumb cake, which is right here ready, with a little hitchhiker on it. Has a little hitchhiker gem. And then I don't want to blend quickly, so I'm not going to like color it all, the whole cat. I'm just going to do this part. And then I'm going to blend it before it dries. Yeah, anything goes. The funniest thing was like these Stampin' spots. I had these Stampin' spots. And like people were coming in and out of the auction. And so someone was like, are those for sale? And I'm like, honey, everything's for sale. Like they just came out of nowhere. They had no idea who I was. They were just happened to be up late. They had never been in my auction. And they're like, are you selling those? And I'm thinking, who has an auction without selling stuff? I guess people do. Some people just craft on there. I'm pretty much going to be crafting here on YouTube. So now I'm using light crumb cake. And I'm going to keep blending it together. So first I went over it. And now I want to blend it by kind of going over those lines so it blends better. You can also kind of pull it in. But I'm using the small side. I mean, maybe I'll craft over there sometimes. But they're like, is this for sale? And I'm thinking, what would I just take them out and show you them? Like, would I just pull out stuff to show you in my house? Like, show and tell? Like on an auction site? and not sell it. I'm like, everything's for sale. If you see it on the camera, it's either a giveaway or it's for sale. They were like, really? Oh my God, I love Stampin' Spots. And I'm like, okay, well, I got like 100 of them. So it was really funny. Like, it's really funny because I have like this whole community there that came over from YouTube. And then these other people come over and they don't know me. And they're like, who is this like chick new on the platform, like selling all this like awesome stuff? What I'm doing now is, because I colored outside the lines a little bit, I'm using a color lifter over on the right side. And then what you could do is, just for the face, if you want to do this, you don't have to do this, but I'm using ivory. You could use light crumb cake for the face, but I like ivory. It comes with like, there's a set of bronze and ivory, and it just looks better on animals when I just do the face in the ivory because it sets it apart. And then if you, sometimes that leaked over there a little bit, oozed in. If you want to go over little spots with ivory, it'll lighten it up. It's better than using the color lifter. And then I like to use the marker for tiny spots. Unfortunately, our markers are going bye-bye. Not happy with that decision, but it is what it is. And I do love the markers, and I use them all the time. You see me using them all the time for small things to color with. But I'm not into manufacturing. I do not know about manufacturing, so there's a reason probably. And probably after people bought the markers, like people buy a set of markers and then it's not something like you keep buying again and again. Like blends, you need to get new ones. Now I'm using Petunia Pop, guys. Petunia Pop for the skirt. I'm using dark Petunia Pop. So maybe it was like the punches where people buy, like you get a circle punch and then someone buys one and then they don't buy it again. They don't ever need another one. And then, later, sometimes you'll be like, why did that punch go away? Well, it's like, no one was buying it. Well, of course no one's buying it because it's not like a refill. Now I'm using light Petunia Pop for the skirt to blend the light and dark together. So it's not like you would ever need two of the same circle punch. And markers pretty much last you for life. They don't really dry out. I've had them for years and years. So anyway, you probably won't see those in my sale because I love them. Except for the retired colors and markers I have been selling. All right, so that was the Petunia Pop for the skirt. And now, let's see. I have... Okay, we'll do for the shirt, we're going to use Pumpkin Pie. And let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see me coloring a little bit better. And the markers aren't on sale right now, but they are last chance. So if you want to get markers, I highly recommend the Brights collection if you're going to get any set of markers. These are $35, and they will last you for years and years and years to come. I've used mine for so many years. And you can get these for $35 and get them while supplies last. And I don't even know if I haven't checked today. And not just Brights. There's a set of neutrals and a set of regals and a set of, let's see, regals, neutrals, subtles. There's a set of subtles. Neutrals, regals. And I don't think they're going to make it like to a sale. I think they're just going to be last chance and then they're going to be gone because we're not going to sell them anymore. So I don't think they'll even go on sale. They'll just disappear. I have them because I use them for like, prizes and things. So I'm now doing pumpkin pie. See how I did the outer edge all with the dark pumpkin pie. And then there's the light. So the nice thing about the blends, which we're going to be keeping our blends collections. These blends come in light and dark. I think it's like $11 or something for a set of 2. And you can blend them together, so they're really nice like that. They're just more popular, used more. Now, I wasn't sure. What do you guys think? Should I color in? I wasn't sure if I should put the orange in the shirt behind this little... What do you guys think? Color in this part, orange, like pumpkin pie? What do you think? I didn't do it on the other one either because I was like not sure if I should color it for the little... I don't really look at what anybody else does. I just kind of do my own thing, so I didn't really have a reference, but I'll ask you guys. Hi, Rosemary. Nice to see you again. She was at the auction. Hi, Frida. Okay, yes. Okay, so she's saying yes, colored in. So we'll do this one, and then we'll see what the other one looks like. Oh, yeah, it does look better. I'm going to do it to the other one. Then I just got to go back and add Wink Estella. All right, so we're going to take, and I'm going to make that line another color. Let's see. I'm going to make that line green, that little tiny line on the little basket. Okay, we're going to make that green. And we're also going to make the little socks green. I accidentally colored. So I was trying to use green, granny apple green, and daffodil delight, but I made one shoe daffodil delight. Oops. And the other shoe green. And then I just kind of went along with it. So you basically just want to go every other stripe with the granny apple green, and then every other one and the daffodil delight. So I'm coloring the stockings in colors that go with this paper, coordinating colors with the paper. So that's cute. And now I'm going to go back over this one because I just colored that new section, and I'm going to put a little Wink of Stella on that section. Okay, keep on going. So now you know about the pumpkin pie petunia pop. Daffodil delight. I was using, by the way, and I'll write it on the paper, dark and dark. Dark daffodil delight, dark granny apple green. The last thing left is just this lines on the hat. Light or dark, it doesn't really matter. I'm just taking the petunia pop and putting the lines. I'm coloring in those lines on the witch's hat. And that's how you do it. Now, if you want, you can use a wobble spring, but I'm not using my wobble spring. There's a wobble spring in your kit, and you can make your little thing wobble, like I did on the box. But for this card, I just used dimensionals. Oh, and the broom, just light and dark crumb cake. Dark crumb cake for the bottom, and light crumb cake for the top of the broom. That's all. You could alternate on the broom if you want. But I thought that would just be easier. That's ivory, crumb cake. So if you are going to get blends and you're going to try out the blends, maybe you've been using markers for years and you want to try out the blends, I do recommend crumb cake as a very common color. And then I recommend pool party. You're going to use pool party a lot in the winter to, color snowmen and things like that, and ice and snow. So I like pool party and crumb cake. So Rosemary's coming to bingo. If you guys want to sign up for bingo, it's on September 26th on Zoom, 7 p.m. So it's all virtual. We're going to make 3 cards. You're going to get this paper, and I'm sending it out with your card club if you're in the card club, or maybe if you get the Jolly Delivery Bingo workshop kit, I'll send it out with that. Or you'll get it. You'll get your kit soon. You will get your kit soon. And even though it's in September, I want you to have that kit soon so you can play with the new papers. And then, this is how to sign up for the bingo. Just use the QR code. It's a very, very good deal. I give out bundles as prizes, and we make 3 cards, and it's a fun night. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn comes to my Zoom events, and she's saying, reminding everyone to give her a thumbs up. Okay, Karen, nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a YouTube channel member. Caroline, you as well. Nice to see you. All right, so what we're doing now is we're going to just put Wink of Stella on our cat and on our, on our broom, and then that's it, and our candy corns, which I said, oh, let's get the candy corns, and now I punched them out earlier. What happened to the candy corns? Okay, here they are. So we're just going to cover those all up, and then we're going to put those, we're just going to make, build our cards. So Wink of Stella over everything. Glitter it all up, including the broom handle. And then we're going to put some stuff on dimensionals and some stuff, it won't be on dimensionals, it'll be glued right to the card. So we're building a cute little Halloween scene. So as promised, we're using the cat. If those of you just came in, I said we're using the cat because we've already used the doggy. And now we're going to build our scene on our note card. So we're going to take this and put this little guy, just kind of lay it all out like that before you start, right? With your bats, which I thought were different sizes, and they weren't, but that's okay. I have bigger fish to fry. So the bats I glued down, the broom I glued down, and the candy corns. And I popped the little witch up with dimensionals, and then I popped up the Don't Worry, Eat Sweets, which we'll cut out. Here, we need our Memento Black for that. All right, so let's go ahead and glue this part. And then that will dry. So everything's there as a reference. That way you don't put anything in the wrong spot. You always lay it out before you glue it down. And the candy corns are giant compared to the fence, but I mean, it's a Halloween card. I mean, the Halloween, a cat's dressed up as a witch, so the whole thing is whimsical, right? Let's move that and put the broom down first. Good. Let's make sure she still fits there. All right, I got to move the broom over a little bit before it dries. Get over there. Get over there. Okay. That's better. I almost put it to where I couldn't fit the candy corns. All right, that's good. Now we're going to take dimensionals for that one. Pop those up. Oh, by the way, when you use alcohol markers, they do bleed through, but it's all good. It's all okay. It's supposed to do that. Super cute. And now we need, don't worry, eat sweets. So whenever you get your card club kits and your workshop kits, you always have these little strips of paper. This is my leftover when I'm making the card bases and stuff. So you're just taking those pieces, and that's what you're going to use for your sentiment. They are 1/2 inch, right? Are they 1/2 inch? Let's see. Yes. So 1/2 inch strips is what you want to use. I had to think for a second, like, how big is that thing? But I'm always just giving you guys all the scraps because I don't want to throw them away, and we can use them for our sentiments. Okay, actually, you should turn it upside down like that. It'd be better. Now, since that already is a scrap of paper, I don't need to stamp it on a scrap of paper. If it don't work, we just use another scrap of paper. Okay, I wobble it a little bit. Wobble it because that way, ooh, look at that nice stamped image. You get a better stamped image when you wobble it a little bit. Jiggle it just a little bit. I'm just going to do another one because, it's Halloween. We're going to make lots of treats. Okay, and we can see which one's better. Okay, that one came out really nice, like really dark. The sweets is really dark. I think I wobbled it too much. Let's do a couple more and see how they work. I mean, while I'm inking this up, get it. Oh, that came out nice. They're all nice. Actually, they all came out nice. It's stamping, so we're supposed to be homemade, but you also want it to look professional, even if it's homemade. All right, so that's good. And now we're going to just ink up the edges. So now you're going to take your pumpkin pie ink or some kind of light color that goes with your scene, some kind of color that you can do your edges on. See how I did it there? And we're going to get the blending brush and just take some ink and put it on your stamping block, right? So you're not dipping your blending brush straight into your ink pad, because then you get lint on your ink pad. You could mess up your ink pad, and it's just easier this way. But I mean, do as you wish, but I like this little method of just putting some down on there on the glass mat and just getting in there in the corner and just sort of inking up the edges like so. What is that? Some kind of hair or something got in there. Okay, and then that's how you get, that's by inking up onto the glass mat, it's how you keep a big giant blob from getting on your image. Unless you want a blob on the edges. I'm just trying to go for like, not really a blob, more of like a subtle look. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of ink on there. Don't worry, eat sweets. All right, so there you go. And then we'll wash that and put it there. Because I have a lot of stuff to show you, I like to clean up that part because I don't want to get all my stuff. I don't want pumpkin pie all over all my stuff that I'm going to show you. Let's get rid of these. We are done the stamping portion. We still have to write the colors on our list. We still have to do the envelopes, but we're done the stamping portion of this tutorial. So now we're going to take these little banners and you're going to cut at an angle like so. And then you're going to take it and move it to the other side like so. And you'll see me do it a few times, and you get the exact same angle on both sides. Just a little trick for you to make sure the angles are the same on both sides. So it don't matter what the angle is. It's just that you want both sides to have the same angle. So turn it around and use it on that side. Oops, get this. And then it looks like it's so good. It could even be die cut, right? I'm just doing them all because we're doing other things in this workshop, and I want to make sure I have a lot of stuff ready and don't have to reinvent the wheel each time, right? We have, okay. Flip it around. Okay, so now it's good. Now we're going to get some dimensionals. Pop that up onto our card. It's water-based. I hope it don't get on my shirt and stay like that. Okay, don't worry, eat sweets. This is a good one. They're all good, but let's see which one is the best. I kind of like it when they're a little darker on the outside. I'm going for this one. Okay, so we're gonna put a couple. I guess we're putting 3. We're putting 3 because I had 3 in my hand. 3 dimensionals. Move that over there so it's not wonky. Okay, got the backs off. Let's center this. There we go. Isn't it cute? And does it need wink Stella? Yes. Oh, good. Look, I found my die. I never do that. I found my die. We've reunited and it feels so good. I mean, I never do that during the videos. What I'm saying is it takes me like forever to find all my dies. Okay, we're going to put this like that. I just like to add extra wink Stella on the corners there. So the only things that are popped up on my card, and we still have stars to add, are the cat itself, the Don't Worry, Eat Sweets, they're popped up. Everything else is glued down. And that way you have dimension. And speaking of dimension, we're going to add a few little stars that are puffy for dimension. These are your Shimmer Star Foam stickers. Shimmer Star Foam stickers. And I keep squishing them in my hand, so it's better to use take your pick tool to just slide them off so they don't get all squished up. Stick them on there. I just deformed one. They're easy to squish. Believe me, I squished so many of them. All right, let's put one over there. Get off of there. Get off. Well, so much. Now that one's a flattened like a pancake. All right, and with this one, we'll go up there. All right, so there you go. I probably shouldn't have put white on white, but this one looked better because I put the white on the petunia pop. I'd switch them, but then they won't keep sticking. So now we got bling, we got glitter, we got our cards, and now we just need to put our envelope flaps on. So you can use your botanical, or let's see what other scraps we have in here we can use. Oh, here, that would, well, no, we don't want to use that because that is like, these are golden for our backgrounds. This is that other piece. No. Yeah, okay, this piece. All right, let's use that piece. All right. I'm just going to cut this a little shorter just to deal with it here. I can't remember how big the flap is. We'll just look. Let's see. 2 should be good. A little bit bigger than 2. I mean, you're going to make it bigger than you need it just to, because then you're going to glue it on and cut around it. And that will look really cute. These are, by the way, Halloween spells. We like to use all kinds of materials on this channel. That was last year's Halloween paper. So let's put some glue along the flap. And then I like to make sure it's on the edges of the flap. The middle part don't really matter as much. And then I like to take my paper and put it up there against the edge, right? On the ledge. The edge on the ledge, that rhymes. And see, that looks really nice. And then actually I just cut it off. I mean, that's it. It's very simple. But it might not be something you're used to doing. Note cards, because I put them inside packages, like this I'll be giving someone in person. It's not really, I don't usually send note cards in the mail. Actually, they cost more. My team member, Rita, sent me a note card. She had to pay more to send the note card because it was so small. So I don't send note cards. I send bigger cards, but I would give someone this whole card and envelope, either that they can use again, or I put it with a little present. Like I do Halloween baskets, and I do things for my husband's coworkers, right? And I do things, for other teachers, and I do things for, secretary, my mom's doctors and stuff. So I'm always making little Halloween treats, our hairdresser, whatever, anybody, mailman. So because I make all these Halloween treats, I'd put this in with the Halloween treat, the note card, and write a little note on it. That's what I would do with this kind of thing. I wouldn't actually mail it as a note card. That's why it's so cute to decorate the envelope like that. Oh, it's just adorable, you guys. I love it. I want to make some more of these with my extra note cards too. That's why I was doing it a little, a few extra Don't Worry, Eat Sweets, because I thought, well, I have some more Halloween treats to make. Alrighty, let's write down those colors for the ink. And then we'll look at what else we have made this month. So we're going to take out the paper that we had used for scraps. So the ink colors. And then you can take your screenshot. We make sure everything's in the view. All right, some stars, paper. All right. Oh, I want you to see that in the picture. So, okay, I'm going to write flap. Okay, hopefully you can see it enough, hopefully. Where's the pen? So over here, we could say Halloween spells. I'm just going to write, it already says Halloween, so you'll know it's Halloween because spell DSP for flap. Okay, so that's over there. So those are the 3 kinds of paper we used today. So the ink. First, you're going to need Memento Black. And that's going to be for your sentiment and for your cat, right? Sentiment and cat. Memento Black. And now then you're going to need Pumpkin Pie, because that's going to be for your edges. Then you're going to need blends. So that was just the ink, right? But then you have lots of blends. First, we colored the cat in crumb cake. And we used both the light and the dark crumb cake. Next, we started coloring the other parts of the cat. We used Petunia Pop. Why? It's a coordinating color. Everything I do it for a reason. Well, or else I do it because it looks cute. But in this case, I did it for a reason. It is all coordinating with the Halloween colors of this paper. Pumpkin Pie, we used the light and the dark for the shirt. Okay, and then some other colors we used were, I'm just going to squeeze them over here. Oh, we used ivory. There is no light and dark for ivory. It's just the ivory. That was the middle of the face. And up here we used petal pink for the nose. So this was an ink color. Now, when I say ink, when I'm talking about ink, when I say it's an ink color, this is an ink color like this. These are ink colors. These are water-based. These are not ink. These are blends. These are alcohol-based. So you know. Okay, Petunia Pop. And then we used, let's see, Granny. I'm going to squeeze that in there. Granny Apple Green. And we just used the dark of that one. That was for the little leotards. And I'm going to squeeze it in there, Daffodil Delight. And then you can take your screenshot if you'd like. And Janet will put these in there. I hope Janet will do that later, in the notes, in the regular comments of the regular video. This is a live stream. So in the regular video, where it will be permanently there in the notes, you'll have those measurements and things like that. So let's see. Yay. Everybody watching, put a thumbs up. That's a miracle. Thank you, Lynn, for noting that. That usually doesn't happen. Awesome. So we got 100% likes. Hello, Paulette Jurgensen. Nice to see you. Hello, Melissa from Texas. It's okay running late. Just go ahead and watch it. Did I remember to keep a stash of crumb cake blends? What do you mean keep a stash? I have like 20 of these, but most of them are dried out and shaved and cut at the tops because the nibs came off. But do you mean, I think I have a stash of everything. You don't have to worry about me keeping a stash unless you're talking about something else. All right, well, that's it, guys. That's that. Now, for those of you that want to see the other things we made, if you already know what we made, you know, that's cool, but you might go, oh, I don't remember that. So I just want to show you, because it's been a while, because we stopped and did Card Club, right? We remember? We stopped and, like, for the all last week, we didn't do any Halloween stuff. We stopped and did Card Club. So just to recall, these are all the tutorials on my channel right now. We used the everyday arches. And let's see, we did all these cards for Card Club with the everyday arches. So just so you know, that's what we did. We did a fun fold. These are all these tutorials are here on my channel. Okay, so there's all that. And more of those. And then another everyday arches. That was the last one. Oh, this wintry treetops is there because it's going to be in one of my future auctions. However, can't find the dies. That's no surprise that I can't find the dies. I'm going to look inside. I was like, I didn't look inside the case. I'm gonna have a Christmas sale. Is what I'm gonna do with all my Christmas things. Anywho, that's the Whatnot auction. If you guys missed it, it was so fun. So we did those cards this week. Now this card here, I just wanted to show you because it was part of the last workshop series we did with these. This was also the botanical textures paper. That same paper we used today in the background. That same paper that was like mottled black paper. We took the black and white piece. And we colored it. And there should be some of it here. Let's see. I don't know what happened to the paper. It was right here. It really was. But anyway, you'll believe me. We colored it in the tutorials when we did the other workshop series. So that's just the same. I mean, that's just another way to do note card. So, I mean, contrasting note cards, but we used that same paper. And we even did the little flap on that too. All right, but for Halloween, back to Halloween. That was my auction I was telling you about. All right. We made these cute little treat boxes. So if you missed that tutorial, we did it with cardstock, but I also did some with designer series paper. And in the tutorial, I showed you what was in all the boxes. So I'm not going to open up the boxes right now. This is one decorated with some of the gold trim. Okay, and then I also did a scan and cut tutorial on this channel. So you can watch the scan and cut tutorial and watch how to cut out the designer series paper and layer it and make your own little tags. So these are the iridescent treat bags, part of the suite. I just love that these are ready to go. So when it's Halloween time, I'm like, all I got to do is go into my basket of goodness. I still have to fill some of these and then tie them up and I'm ready to go. I have so many treats. Look, I have tags for the treats. Like the tags can go on things I haven't even thought of yet or new bags that I make. We decorated the little suitcases on this channel. So this was one of the projects we did, showing you how to decorate both sides of the little suitcase. This is called a mini suitcase treat box. I can't believe, I think these are retiring too. It's best to check the last chance list, guys, because things retire and disappear. And, you know, I'll hoard some and put them in the next kit. I'll probably put them in this coming kit, the Jolly Delivery Kit. But then after that, I can only hoard so much. I mean, if they run out, they run out. And I only have, a pack or two. And there's the one with the Halloween spells. And if you center it right, you can get it to go right on the background of your luggage, right with that little stack of books. Okay, another fun tag. Oh, here's the wobble. Wobble, 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 spring. Okay, we did that on the channel. We also, on this channel, we unboxed this kit. And you all got 3 boxes in here. And I showed you how to make them when I unboxed it. So You all got 3 boxes to make at your leisure. Like, and we're not probably going to make them on the channel again. And I think one person's still waiting on the boxes. I'm still waiting on my In Color Club too, if you're waiting. I'm waiting on a shipment tomorrow. Okay, but we also want to talk about the cards we made. How fun. We did get to use all of the stamps now. I think all the stamps. Most of the stamps. I should say most. Most of the stamps now, because we did this little haunted house. We used the dies here. We used the little fence. We made the little dog into the little monster. I love using those bats. We use Happy Halloween. You have way more die cuts than you need, but you had lots of die cut shapes in your kit. So those are the projects we made this month in the Halloween workshop series. And we're going to continue this workshop series, and then it's going to overlap. So we're going to start in September. We're going to continue. In September, we're going to make the shaker card for this series, and we'll do another 3D project, right? So then I'm going to go right into... right in September, but this is really the October series, is the Jolly Delivery. We're going to have bingo in September and a workshop in October, but you can sign up for the workshop now. Probably you'll send out the email probably tonight or tomorrow. You can start signing up for the workshop series. Lots of surprises in that kit, and I'm trying to send it out with the bingos if I can. All right, so that's about all that's going on my channel. And so you always get extra, every time you take my events, you get extra little die cuts, which are a labor of love. So I thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great evening. And I want to make sure there are any questions. We went a little bit over an hour, but I was hoping to do an hour, but we did it. And you got to see extra crafty goodness. I hope you will make these. Please, if you make these, there's a special challenge, right? Janet posted it in the VIP group. So if you're part of the VIP Facebook group, you go into the VIP group and you're going to post what you make from this chat. You don't have to have my workshop kit to post this. You just have to use these products and you have to do something from this workshop series, a project that I taught you how to make or something that you made with this Halloween. So that's the challenge going on. It'll be going on all of September. Okay, it's a special challenge. So, watch out for that special challenge. You can start making the things now, and you can start posting them into a special challenge for a special prize. All right, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great evening.